no, this is not where I'm supposed to be. And I think I knew. I remember when we got there, they played us a video of like different students why they decided to pursue medicine, and like there was a lot of I want to change the world, but in my head I'm like there's so many different ways to change the world, right? So I couldn't really relate with the I'm studying medicine because I want to change the world. And then there was another person on that video who said they studied medicine because their parents told them to study medicine. So they follow up with these students like 5 years later. So the students, the student who said they chose it because of like parents ended up being a comedian, and everybody laughed. I remember everybody laughed, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I can see myself in you, child, because in all honesty, I knew from the day I got there that it wasn't for me. But obviously, you study medicine. Everybody from your hood knows that you study medicine. You know, we used to wear like white coats on campus, so everybody knew Horewe now or medical students. And obviously, it's very difficult to get into the program. So everybody knew you were smart. Basically, if you studied medicine, you're wearing your white coat. You know, there's a certain you know. So I knew for the longest time that medicine wasn't for me, but I was scared. I think I was scared more than anything because medicine is like guaranteed, although now they are facing like difficulties with like employment. But if you become a doctor, you do know that you're going to live a relatively comfortable life, right? So yeah, to answer your question, it does sound like I went on a tangent.
No, you did answer it, right? So basically, I wanted you to highlight more on how do you move from medicine into law. Also, take us through the process where you decide that I'm done trying, I'm going to drop out, because I think it is a very important part, because sometimes people make you when you say that, you make it sound like you woke up, you're like, I'm dropping this, I've got another plan. But I know that it's not that easy to just be like, let's leave this. So if you can take us through that process.
Okay, so I always knew that I wasn't supposed to be there. It took a lot of time. And then my dad was an engineer, so he retired, right? So in my second year of medicine, I remember my dad went through a bit of like a financial, so there wasn't really that much money anymore. So now I was at a point where like I need to persevere, as we all do. But now I'm persevering for something that I'm not passionate about.
Sure.
So I've always loved literature. I've always loved reading. And then I think in my second year of medicine, I was reading Americana by Chimamanda.
Yeah.
And in her story, so obviously I don't remember the details of the book, but I think it's about a girl who studies medicine and then drops out to become like a writer. So I'm like, oh, if she can do it, surely I can. So I think that was the book that actually got me to finally decide, okay, no, maybe just try. Like, if you fail, you fail, you know. But I didn't want to live my life miserable in a career knowing that I have no business being there. And when I could have just tried, like if I fail, I failed. And now that I look back, like I am so content and I'm so fulfilled and I'm doing something that I'm passionate about. So I'm actually glad that I was brave enough to just, you know, try.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on the day you decide that you're fully going to drop out, what happened? What were you wearing?
Yeah.
How did you wake up that morning?
Like, it's so funny because I literally, like when you said that, I can see myself. I'm like, oh, my darling, you were going through it. But I had a not a BSc, man, a biochemistry test, and I didn't write it. And then I applied for the sick test. Now I have to prepare for the sick test, but like, mind. You know when you know that you have to like do something, but you're like, oh, guys, I can't. Like, And then I took a taxi, I went home. I told my grandmother, I'm like, I showed them my results because at the time I was doing fairly well. I'm like, here are my results. I'm doing fairly well, but I'm still not happy, and I'm going to drop out of medicine. And my grandmother was like, okay, cool.
Really?
Yes, I think she was the only person that was the first time, because I've always been a good girl. So that was the first time I got, like, there was a family meeting where people drove from Pretoria to say, yo, Wanakio, what drop her out, you know? So yeah, I told my grandmother and she was like, yeah, no, it's fine. I think at the time I said, what did I say? I don't remember. But I emphasized that I still want to go to school because like that's the one thing that I'm good at. That's the one thing that I've always been good at. And then I went and I told Yowena. So we had a program director. I had to go and like the secretary to the program director, Inele, Me Olga Shuping. So we shared a surname, right? But I didn't know her before med school. I didn't even tell her what the meeting was about. I'm like, hi, I'm here to see the program director. I go in, I tell that lady, like, yeah, no,
it's
cut
shy.
the cameras, stop the music. I think I told her I want to become Miss South Africa. Like, I'm like, yeah, no, medicine is not for me. I want to become Miss South Africa.
Sure.
And she's like, yeah, no, if it's not for you, you know, obviously they don't really care. I mean, it's your life at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Sure. Okay,
Yeah.
so then after that, how do we then get to decide that we're going to do law? And then what happened after you drop out? Did you stay at home? Did you wait for the next
Oh, my
year?
God, guys.
Rivatla tea. You said you're a tea lady. Spiel.
No, I'm just like having to relive. You know, when you go through something and you're like, it's done. Now that you're asking me these questions, I have to relive those moments again. So obviously reading literature, I tried applying because I only decided after applications were closed for that year. And how do I decide on law? I had to think about what would I do if I didn't have to get paid for it. Like apparently if you want to, you know, identify what you're passionate about, you need to think, if somebody didn't pay me money every day, what would I do?
Sure.
I would talk
Yeah.
all day, every day.
Okay.
That's what I would do. And I would read because I love reading, and I would argue because I'm very argumentative. So I think once I channeled my way of thinking towards that end, then I'm like, okay, I know. So it was between BA literature and law, right? But I don't have a trust fund. Like BA literature in South Africa is a bit of a risk in terms of like employment prospects. So law just made more sense. And yeah, that's how I then choose law, because I thought being a lawyer is the one thing that I'll be willing to do for free. And I think I was right, even though I don't want to do it for
But
free.
you're a capitalist.
I am a capitalist. Like, no, Yvonne, I like it when I say it. Like, I feel like when somebody says you're a capitalist, then they're putting you like on it. But I am a
Own up
capitalist.
your truth. Yeah, who you are.
Yeah, no,
Capitalist.
definitely, guys. I've suffered enough. I'm not here to suffer.
No, I hear
And
you.
like, yeah, I think I am very like aware of like social dynamics. So I do volunteer and all of that. But my career has never been something that I thought, you know, my career is to build wealth for my
Okay.
kids, to live a comfortable life, to travel. So capitalist in that sense, yes. But I do care about like people, just not at my expense, I think. I hope it lends well because guys, I'm very honest and direct. So please know whatever I say, just know that it comes from a good place. Next thing, Batorio,
trend.
you don't trend. And anyway.
No, I hear you. That's
Yeah.
valid. So then why did you choose to apply at UJ? Why not stay at UFS? You guys have law, right?
Yeah.
Why
I
not?
think I just wanted a change, man. Like, you know, especially because you're switching, people are going to have opinions. So I didn't want to have to deal with like every day, you dropped out. Was it difficult? So I just wanted something different. I wanted Joburg because I also wanted to pursue modeling as a hobby. So it made more sense for me to then apply in Joburg. And most of my family are in Joburg, so I would always have that support system. And between Wits and UJ, I didn't think about UP for like whatever reason, and it's actually a very good law
Institution.
school. It's
Yeah.
actually the best, I think, on the continent, if I'm not mistaken.
No, UJ is the best.
Okay, UJ is the best, guys.
Always on brand.
Yeah, but yeah, so it was between Wits and UJ, and at the time, I remember Wits required you to do BA, BCom, so I looked at the prospectus. I'm like, I did science in high school. BA doesn't really sound like something that will fascinate me.
Sure.
BCom accounting, numbers, I don't know. So then I chose UJ on that basis, but I also considered things like registration. Like registration fee at UJ is reasonable. So if I lose funding or anything, at least I know I can make a plan to get like that 5.5 as opposed to Wits where they're asking you for like, I don't know.
Double the amount,
It's more expensive. So I think I knew that like I just want to go there, graduate, done. Like I didn't want to be jumping over other loopholes. I mean, hoops that have absolutely nothing to do with why I'm there in the first place. Yeah.
No, I hear you. And how was your experience at UJ?
Oh,
transitioning
love.
from UFS
Oh,
to
my
UJ?
darling University of Johannesburg. Yo, guys, it was so nice.
Yeah.
It was so nice because obviously, I think the only thing that I struggled with is I was a bit older. So I wasn't really, dating students wasn't a thing because I'm older than them, you know. So
Okay.
now, first year, it's like, oh, my brother, I'm your mother, you know. So that was the one thing that I struggled with because it was like, so I did feel like I was a bit behind
Sure.
because like most of the people that you started with are working and all of that. But UJ was such an amazing experience. Oh my goodness, great faculty. You know, there's a lot of representation. Like you see a lot of people that share your story. There's no pressure in terms of. It's very rare will you find like a student rocking up with a Maserati. You know.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, no man, UJ was nice. Like I'm not gonna lie, and I got a job, and you know I had extra money, and
Sure.
yeah.
Love that.
So man, love that institution.
Did you experience any culture shock?
Not really because I was doing it for the second time, right?
Okay.
So I can't really think of anything really shocking. I think, yeah, no.
You didn't
Yeah,
experience
no,
any
I don't
culture.
think. I'm just thinking about the demographics. Like UFS was very predominantly like there was a balance between like black people, white people, Indian. So UJ was like a predominantly black institution. So that was the only thing that I noticed, but it wasn't really a culture shock. Yeah.
All right. And was it easy for you to make friends, given that also there's that complexity of saying you feel like you're older than your mates, or you just didn't care for that?
If I'm being completely honest, I was just there to get the degree. So I didn't really, it didn't phase me. I was able to make friends that are still in my life to this day.
Sure.
But I don't remember struggling. Also, like, I like people. So it was very easy for me to then like connect with the people that are like authentic and genuine enough. So yeah, no. Yeah.
Okay. Then you go into law school. Did you know what it meant getting a law degree, what you were going to do with it? Were you fully informed or aware? Or it was just a thing of, I know I'm going to be a lawyer, I'll figure it out?
So I think I was privileged enough that I did my research. So I knew that, like you said, I'm a capitalist. I knew that, like, God willingly, I want to start at like a top 5 law firm so that you can start comfortably. Like the gap between like a top 5 law firm and like a small firm in terms of earnings is really big, you know,
Sure.
and it's really unfortunate that that's not something that's being regulated. I think the legal practice, is it the Legal Practice Council?
Yeah.
I think
The
they
Law
are,
Society.
the Law Society, they are trying to bridge that gap. So when I went in, I knew that I need distinctions. I knew that 50% was not enough. I knew that like I needed to do extra mural activities. So I went in it knowing fully well what it meant to study law, I guess. Like you need to be somebody that loves reading. If you don't, then you're going to struggle. So yeah, I think I was fairly okay in terms of,
Okay, you knew that you wanted to go through that attorney route.
I don't know if, I don't know. I haven't really ruled out the bar yet. I am having fun currently at work, but I think it makes more sense, even if you want to be an advocate, to first become an attorney, get admitted, so that you build your relationships, you know, and people get to see your work ethic. Because I think, this is obviously my opinion, I could be wrong. I think if you go to the bar straight, you might then struggle to get like lawyers that are willing to give you matters.
Sure.
Whereas if you go via like the attorney route, like you rotate, like I'm rotating in different teams, and I'm building relationships. So should I decide to go to the bar, it's not something that's on my radar yet, but should I decide, then I know that I can rely on, you know, the relationships that I've built during articles as an associate, senior associate,
Okay, so then as you were studying, keeping focused, getting the distinctions, then you told yourself that you're only going to apply at big firms, or did you apply at other firms, and when did you start applying, and what was that process like?
So, like I said, when I started, I knew the gap in earnings. So I was always gonna, you know, aim for the top, right?
Sure.
I did my first job shadowing opportunity was at a law firm, like at my uncle's friend's law firm. So that was my first like real experience of what it means to be a lawyer.
Sure.
Which was really nice. I remember him telling me like, yo, you are, you know, you're doing fairly well. I'm not going to lie to you and say, I want you to come work for me. I'm not going to pay you enough. And then he tried connecting me with like somebody from one of the top 5 law firms. Never responded to my email. And then yeah, so I knew also that you need to start early because they start recruiting fairly early. And unlike medicine, law is a very saturated field, you know. How many universities are there that offer law? And also, you just need to be good in English. Nobody's asking you for a distinction in maths. So that means a lot of people are able to get into the program.
Sure.
But now the difficulty is securing the job. So I started applying second year. I remember we got an email from faculty. They were like, hi, you guys are top students. There's a VAC opportunity at this firm. And then I applied. But at the time, I wasn't intentional about my application. So I was just like, yeah, no, I have the grades. So I don't really have to like, you know, do anything more than that.
Yeah.
And I got rejected. And I remember it like, I didn't apply. I think the whole of my second year, I didn't apply.
Serious? Were you traumatized?
I was, because, you know, you associate so much, like you attach so much worth as a person to your grades.
Yeah.
So when you get that reality check where like, okay, we don't really care.
Yeah.
And I think with top 5 international law firms, everybody who applies, they have the distinctions, you know.
Sure.
So you need to come with something different. Like we're not just looking for your distinctions. Are you volunteering? Are you working? So then in my second year, I applied to be a law library assistant at UJ. And I reapplied to that very same firm that rejected me. I'm like, guys, I want to work for you guys. And I'm not happy with the fact that. So it's also like persistent, like knowing what you want and making sure you're going to do everything to get it. Because had I been a different person, I was I'm embarrassed to reapply. No, I reapplied, and I remember she's an associate now. I ended up actually getting signed to the firm that rejected me in second year. So they came to UJ, and I was telling her like, I have all of these grades. She was like, no, reapply, be more intentional. Everybody has the distinctions, so that's not your selling point. And then she said, you must also mention in your application that they rejected you and you are reapplying. So I mentioned in my application, I'm like, guys, I know what I want, and I want you guys, and you have rejected me. And I think, you know, let's just try again. Relook that decision again. So then I think I got signed in my third year of LLB, but I was volunteering. I was working at the law library. You know, like it wasn't just my grades, you know, there was a lot more substance. So I think a lot of students will make that mistake of thinking, I only need like a 90% average. Everybody who gets into these spaces have those 90% averages. And I think like I've been rejected, and this is very unfortunate because a lot of people wait until they graduate and then it's only then that they start applying. I've been getting rejected since second year. So by the time I finish, I've gone through my rejection phase. You're only applying once you graduate. You are going to go through your rejection phase, which is why we have such a high rate of unemployed graduate. And it's unfortunate, but like people look at us and think, it must have been that easy. No, it wasn't easy. I started applying from second year. And I've been rejected for probably more than 15 firms, you know, but because I started early, I went through my rejection phase, and then finally I managed to get signed.
No, that's good. What would you say a person in university needs to participate in to make themselves well-rounded?
So get a job as a tutor, as a law library assistant. It's free money. Like I think we were earning, I don't know if I'm supposed to disclose, but it was more than like $4,000 per month. As a student who doesn't have a child, who doesn't have any
It's a decent amount because that's the minimum wage in South Africa. So a lot of South Africans earn about 3.5.
So like, and because of that, it's extra money. So it looks very good on your CV. Volunteer, even outside of varsity. Like I volunteer for Fly, which is a NPO that offers maths classes to learners in disadvantaged high schools in Johannesburg and Cape Town. Also, that's something that looks good on your CV. And I remember in my interview, my selling point was the reason why I'm volunteering is because mathematics keeps your brain very critical, you know, whereas with law, there's not a lot of numbers. So I still wanted that critical element. So my volunteering, in as much as it's a selfless, you know, I'm contributing to society, it is also benefiting me. And it's an organization full of chartered accountants, actuarial scientists. So you're building those relationships as a student. Do you get what I'm saying? So tutoring, law, library assistants, volunteering outside of, you know, and there are always these outreach programs, like also LinkedIn, like LinkedIn is your friend. So have a profile by second year and show people what you're doing, because when you do apply, they're going to go on your LinkedIn and they're going to check. And if, let's say, you want to go to a top 5 law firm, you must like all of their things, comment, because when they do look through, they're going to say, oh, actually, this person is consistent, you know, and she's familiar, she's been watching, she knows what we are about. So, yeah, I think we just recently started, are we allowed to say names? It's an NPO.
Yeah,
not
it's
an
fine.
employer. So we just recently started Sisters in Suits with Koketso Lidiga. She's amazing. She has a picture. Like, I always tell everybody that she has a picture with Michelle Obama. I'm like, I know Koketso. She has a picture with Michelle Obama. But there's Koketso, who's an exceptional lawyer. There's Sidi Vilakazi, who is exceptional as well, content creator. So these opportunities, they also, you know, give you access and allow you to sit on tables that you would have never have sat as a student who's just getting distinctions. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't have to be law related, even if you are helping like at an orphan. That says a lot about the type of person that you are. And I think if you are a lawyer, in as much as we are capitalists, for those that are in corporate, it shows how you actually have a heart. You actually care about, you know, the greater good of society. Yeah.
So what is the most challenging thing about being a candidate in a big law firm and the most rewarding thing?
Okay, so the rewarding thing is definitely the money. It's definitely the money. The challenging thing, okay, I'm going to speak about my own experience. So obviously we went to different schools. Like, I have been comfortable around, like, you know, I have like white friends. So it's a predominantly white space. And when I entered, I didn't necessarily think, it's going to be a shock. But all of a sudden, you are at a social event with a partner and you don't really have anything to talk about. And unfortunately or fortunately for us who are yappers of note, law is a very social career. You know, you need to be able to have like conversations, not even about law, like, hi, how are you doing? Where's your people? You're working with people and you need to know the things that are important to people. Like just asking somebody, oh, your daughter, I heard you said they like participate in like gymnastics. How it shows how you're paying attention. So I think for me, my biggest challenge was like realizing, actually, I still have a long way to go in like navigating a predominantly like white space, you know. Because you don't really know what you can talk about and you feel a bit out of place. But I think just constantly putting yourself out there and learning.
Yeah.
Because like I'm saying, it is a very social career. So you can't just insist scheme same and that's all. You know, scheme same is what you're already used to. And you're not gonna go to like another partner who is Indian, white or whatever and speak about scheme same and think they're gonna be able to relate. They're not, you know. So now also, if you want to make it a better experience for you, you also need to learn what other people like and what music they're listening to, so that you have other things outside of just law. Like you can come and say, oh my goodness, I saw that matter that you worked on, such a great, they already know, like you're boring me because every single candidate attorney is going to come and they're going to want to speak about like law. But we're socializing. This is a social event. You need to have other things that you can speak about. Yeah.
Yeah, no, love that. And then as you navigate the corporate space, what are 3 things that you think every candidate attorney should know or should bear in mind?
So the highest, oh my God, the highest on the list is perception.
Okay.
Like perception matters more than hard work, you know. So you obviously have to be hardworking, but if you're hardworking and perception says otherwise, nobody really cares, you know. And just putting yourself out there, like socially, like I can't emphasize how important it is for you to be able to also be socially strong.
Sure.
I'm not saying the career is for people that are extrovert. There are introverts that will thrive in like corporate, but I do think it's a bit easier if you're already like somebody who likes engaging with people. So perception and like just being there. Like I think you just have to be available all the time, you know. So if work starts at 8:30 and you're there by 7:00, somebody needs somebody to print something for them, you're like happy to help. You leave the office at like 7. Oh my goodness, an associate realizes at like 7:30, oh, you're there to help. So perception, knowing that work hard, but also you must navigate perception because it is very important, and people will judge you based on how they perceive you, not necessarily who you are. Do you get what I'm saying? What else? Availability, and what's the third one?
You tell me.
Didn't I give you 3 already?
No.
Like I feel like I gave you 3 already. Okay. The third one would be perception, being available,
Putting yourself out there.
Socially, I did speak about the like social element of it. Yeah. So you constantly need to put yourself out there.
Okay. What's that one skill that you think every single human being must learn?
Guys, this is like, and I'm very biased, but like reading.
Yeah.
Reading. I'm an avid reader. I love reading. I do think like there's so much, you learn so much from reading, and you get to experience life from other people's perspective, you know. Like I come from a very small town, and I read, this is a quote that I swear by Trevor Noah in his Born a Crime. He says, you can only imagine what you can dream of, and based on where you come from, your imagination can be quite limited. So if you come from like Tabanchu, the only people that we see, babereka ko Shoprite, ko police station, you know, you don't see a top 5 lawyer in Tabanchu. But for me, I think I was not necessarily a product of, or I wasn't limited to what I was seeing because I've always read. So I got to experience life from like Chimamanda, who's in Nigeria, how their dreams look like, you know. So I think reading is the economic way of traveling through the world, because you get to see. So one skill, definitely learning how to read.
Okay. Top 3 book recommendations?
Oh my goodness. So I'm a hopeless romantic.
Okay.
I'm a hopeless romantic, and I think men are very underwhelming in real life.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So I think I thrive off of like fiction, right? So top of my list, and I've been reading a lot of South African, because I think, South African literature. Top of my list, Black Widow Society by Angela Makholwa. Love her loads. What else? The 5 a.m. Club. No, The Year of Saying Yes by Shonda Rhimes.
Yes.
Love Shonda Rhimes. Like, give me anything that lady produces and I'll eat it up. The Year of Saying Yes, Black Widow Society, and what else? I want to say The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but it did get stale at some point. So I don't know. I only have 2. Yeah.
You're not going to say Rise.
I am currently reading Rise. It is a relatively well-written book because he used a ghostwriter. I'm not particularly interested in the spot, so I'm more interested in his personal life. So I feel like there's an unequal balance between the chapters that detail his personal life and like the rugby, you know. So it is a bit of a difficult read on that basis. Not because it's not well written, just because of what I like.
Okay. No, that's good then. Time went by so fast. In closing, what is this season of your life?
Oh my goodness. This season of my life is abundance. I think abundance. I think spiritual growth. I think just like building a better relationship with God and just allowing God to be the driver of your life. Like you have all of these dreams and you know, and if it's not in line with your purpose, then it shouldn't be part of your story.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for honoring my invite.
Thank you for having me. Oh my goodness, you looked so scary.
What do you mean? Kispani. Abampatele shapu mara
No,
kispani.
guys, like this girl, like it's almost as if we're not friends because all of a
This is
sudden
a
it's
real
like,
job.
"Boy, can't you feel?" And you didn't read my bio. I thought you were gonna. Did you read my bio?
No, I didn't read all of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
because I
that
thought
long,
they were
everybody. Let it be known.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for honoring my invite. Hope to have you back for a much longer time.
Yes.
To everybody at home, I hope you learned something. For me, I learned that it is important to persist. It is important to understand that rejection is almost inevitable. There are spaces that are not for you, and because of that, those spaces are bound to reject you because you are not supposed to be there. But don't let that be the reason that you don't try again. And don't be ashamed of your fails. Your failures are sometimes the reason why people choose you, because we have a tendency of hiding our shame, hiding that we failed. But with Boyke, she was able to actually say, guys, you've rejected me before. Maybe reconsider that. You know, you never know. Maybe that's what sparked the person accepting the application.
And they actually did like mention it.